but a second round is supposed to happen tonight. Now, I'm going to try and make this short and simple, but this seems like it's just going to continue from day 2 all the way down to day 3. So, let's try and make this short and simple. Today, there's an enhanced risk over Wisconsin, West Michigan, to I don't want to mess up myself, so I'm just going to say, if you are in the enhanced, your wind, so this is where severe storms are likely. In the yellow, scattered severe thunderstorms are possible. If you're in the green, an isolated stray shower or thunderstorm exceeding 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds is possible. Now, along with that, here's the tornado threat over Wisconsin and all. So there's 5% along 3 states, meaning a little. I'm not saying tornado outbreak. Oh no! I'm saying a stray shower or a supercell is possible. A rotating supercell is possible, causing some high winds. Now let's go to the wind threat. If you are in all these little dashes, you could possibly see winds up to 75 miles per hour. That is impressive and rare. You do not just see 75 mile per hour wind gusts. If you go to hail, if you're in the hatch, you'll see maybe some 2-inch hail, which is also pretty damaging to cars. If you're also, I forgot to talk about the wind threat a little bit more. If you're in the red, strong winds are likely. If you're in the yellow, strong winds are possible. If you're in the brown, an isolated, strong 60-mile-per-hour wind gust is possible. For the hail threat, I already talked about the hatched area. This yellow means a scattered to there's a possibility of 1-inch hail. And if you're in the brown, that means you could see an inch in diameter of hail, but that is unlikely for you if you're in the brown. If you're in the yellow, expect some strong hail, especially if you're in the hatched area. Now let's move on to day 2. This stretches from the southern area of the Midwest all the way up into the Northeast. A 5% tornado risk is up here. This will probably continue also in for Canada around here. So if you're in the 2%, an isolated tornado is possible. If you're in the 5%, same thing, just a little bit more likely. And again, for the wind threat, I already explained this in the very beginning. And lastly, we move on to day 3. We only get a problematic if you're in the 15%. Scattered severe storms are possible. Tornado to wind and hail threat is unknown at the time. If you're in the 5%, isolated severe thunderstorms are possible. I don't believe there's anything for all these outlooks. Yep. But we'll talk about that another time. So, time to talk about our actual threat here. Let's move on to the HRRR, but not the NAM3K. Let's move on to the HRRR, high resolution stuff. So let's go to the Midwest. So, I feel like we're going to be looking at composite reflectivity for now. So let's look at that. All right. So, as you can see, storms have already fired. Sorry if I'm wrong. I believe this is Montana. I have no idea. But as you can see, this strengthens with intensity. The more, and again, here comes these isolated thunderstorms down here that could be supercells. It's unknown at the time. As we can see, we could see some straight line wind damage right here. This is a possibility right here. So be careful with that. And this could turn into a tornado, but you can't really predict tornadoes with the future cast on radar. Now that slowly breaks apart, but then again more straight line to some more straight line to damaging wind gusts are possible around here. But as you can see, there's more things developing along this line. We are going to continue. As you can see, it turns to a linear to supercell line. As you can see, all these counties over here could see some damaging wind gusts. We're going to be looking at multiple things here. And that's it for that run. But don't worry, Michigan, you're not done here. As you can see, behind that big system, there's another system moving on behind it. So Wisconsin, you're going to get murdered first by that system as it moves into Michigan. This does not show the full thing yet, but we are going to be watching the setup here. So, as you can see, Michigan honestly might be taking the most amount of rounds, but Wisconsin takes on the strongest winds. Just for a better look, we're going to do Michigan real quick first. So, we're going to fast forward a little bit. This will be a little bit better to see what time. So, this is Saturday at 11 p.m. right now. So, Saturday at 11 p.m., 12 a.m. So, storms start entering West Michigan around 9 p.m. here as they move along into Grand Rapids and continuing on. At around 11 p.m., they start hitting Lansing, Mount Pleasant, and they're about to arrive to Saginaw, Flint, Jackson, and all those. Strong ice, it seems like, I'm just going to say this, there could be a possibility of an isolated stronger part of a storm again, and there's an isolated tornado threat for these areas of Michigan over here. So, again, with this system, a tornado is possible. And now we are arriving into 12 a.m. Storms arriving into Flint. Jacksonville just got hit. Lansing getting hit by a little side swipe here as a second system starts arriving in from the Lake Michigan area. Detroit and Sarnia and St. Clair Shores are about to get hit, as we can see right here. As you can see, there are some pockets of damaging winds, it looks like, and heavy downpours. So I'm just going to say this, if you have a weather radio or something, make sure you have that on tonight. Make sure you are safe from damaging winds with the possibility of an isolated tornado. The more west you go, the bigger chance for tornadoes. The more east you go, there's a lesser chance, not even a 2% right now. But I'd say there's still a isolated tornado threat, just a little bit for West Michigan as we start moving forward. Now here comes the second wave into Michigan. The second wave arriving really early in the morning, Sunday at 3 a.m., Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Mount Pleasant, and Traverse City. Traverse City just gets a little smudge there, but as you can see, that will start arriving. So behind the system, more storms to the Metro Detroit area as the second system arrives into Lansing, Saginaw, Jackson at 5 a.m. Now we're just going to continue this here. Moving forward, as you can see, we have Detroit getting hit by another, looking to be a pretty big storm system. 6 a.m. You'll a little more than likely will hear a rumble of thunder. If you are an early riser, expect the possibility of hearing an isolated thunderstorm and or powerful shower. That's the longest we go. We're about to move on to the NAB 3K after this, but I don't think I have any listeners in Wisconsin, but just in case, as you can see, I do have a couple of people watching, so that's a big thank you. If you're watching, make sure to subscribe and all that, and at the end, I'll put up a link to a Discord server, which I'm thinking of making. So as we can see, this is where you'll see more powerful storm systems and a little bit more. So this is where storm chasers are going to be chasing. Wisconsin. At 3 p.m., La Crosse, Wazoo, and Stevens Point about to get hit here. Boom. It seems like you'll see strongest winds on this line, as you'll see more heavy downpours the more north you go. And as we can see, there are some really powerful parts in the system as it moves across. At around 5 p.m., as you can see, Madison and Okeechobee, Green Bay are about to get hit. So as we're going to continue, we're going to move by 2. So, alright, 6 p.m., West Bend, Milwaukee, Shawinigan, I don't know how to pronounce that, Green Bay, and it seems like this upper peninsula city here could get hit, as you can see, and then those storms start moving out. It seems like they start weakening, and they 100% will as those storms move off and as they move on to Lake Michigan. Now we go up into a second round. So you're not done. This seems like this could pose a flooding threat for Wisconsin. As you can see, they get hit hard. As you can see, I'm not even going to list off name cities at this point. There's so many storms arriving. I feel like this might be where you could see a tornado threat. I'm unsure. But as you can see, this turns into isolated supercells and strong thunderstorms into just a big thing of rain and possibly isolated lightning strikes as it moves on to Milwaukee, West Bend, and all that. Also going into Lake Michigan. Okay, so that leaves us off there. Another thing I want to say is Michigan, I don't know what it is. Let's look at the 16Z here. It might have been the 15Z, I'm unsure, but something popped up. Yeah, so this shows, again, more isolated thunders and blah, blah, blah. 15Z put out something really interesting, to be honest, if you want to ask me. This thing is interesting. If this thing continues, if this goes on to more models, it hasn't gone on to a model run yet. This is 12 a.m. You could see, this is, I don't want to say it because I feel like it'll cause people to panic or something, but this could cause some really strong winds, and I think it's how strong these storms are that causes the storm intensity to go up. Let's move on to the NAM. NAM 3K. To see these storms that move on to Michigan a little bit more closely. Alright, let's continue here. Let's just hurry up. So, it doesn't show much, which is why I think this is not really likely. A lot of things are different. But it doesn't even show that much of rain or anything. It seems more like it's going to move on to in Ohio, I believe. Let me just look south. Yeah, it looks like something develops in Ohio on the NAM 3K. So that's all I want to talk about. Oh, lastly, let's look at a QF thingy. Not the 12Z, the 17Z. Again, we need a better look. Let's look at the total QFF. First, let's look at Wisconsin. Now, this will prove my point on how strong these storms are being. So, as you can see, whoa! Okay, so we're seeing, this will change over time. I'll put the models on in the Discord server. I'll put a thing where you can see what I use to predict these storms, so that you can look at these a little bit more. But as you can see, look at this thing. We're going to Rochester. Mason City at 1.6 inches of rain. Madison, 2.4. Janesville, 1.3 inches. West Bend, 2.1 inches. Milwaukee, 0.7. That's not even the main part. And what the heck is this? So, what we're looking at here, 4.6 inches of rain in Madison, La Crosse, 1.6 inches. Rochester, 1.1. Mason City, 1.7. Basically, I don't want to continue anymore with this. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is, I'm going to say that line, turn around, don't drown. Basically, this is saying, just look at this. This area is showing 5.21 inches of rain. Jeez, that's a lot. Now, basically, you could see in low-lying areas, you could see some isolated flooding. It's not like a hurricane where you see an entire foot. At a foot, that's when you start worrying a lot more about cars. But what you got to worry about, especially for the Detroit area in the future here on the HERS, you can see this moving into Michigan as it reaches across. This whole area, if you remember, is just a lot of rain. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow morning to look at this more. I'll put what it is on the Discord. But as we can see, Lansing, 0.6. Flint, 0.6. This is just the beginning. Grand Rapids already has 1.2 inches of rain. Muskegon, I don't know how to pronounce that either, 2.1 inches. As you can see, this is just going to turn into one big area, especially for the Grand Rapids and Detroit and Lansing. Basically, any urban area, you'll see runoff. That is a big problem. They're seeing, how much rain in a general area, but don't forget, it can be more with the amount of runoff. It will run off into ditches, into roads and streets. That's why it looks like there's more than there actually was. So in the future, actually after this, I'm gonna see if the excessive rainfall outlook put anything out for these areas. But basically, look out for urban flooding and runoff. Let's look at the flooding thing. Excessive rainfall outlook. Let's take a look here. Here we go. This should be it. Yeah. So this is agreeing on what I'm saying. So this is the same thing. Down here it says desert. So drought is ending over here a little bit. This is starting to lighten up. But as you can see, there is a moderate risk for flooding right there in that one little spot. So if you're in the green, expect isolated flash flooding, especially in urban areas where runoff is likely. And so let's look at day 2. More isolated flooding for a lot of the United States here as that continues, and so on. And again, sorry, I'm saying one more thing. Let's look at the thunderstorm outlook. This will see your chances for a thunderstorm. So 70%, as you can see, like the entire. So, basically the entire state of Wisconsin's under a 40% to 70%. Meanwhile, the lower peninsula of Michigan, the more north you go, the less chance you'll see for a thunderstorm. But if you're within, I'd say, the center areas, you'll see a big chance for an overnight thunderstorm. And keep those weather radios on you at all times. Oh, and I almost forgot. Look in chat to see the Discord invite. I will probably also put it in my About page. And see you later, peoples. Now, bye.